So what do you expect me to say?
Let's get him!
I know you feel this way. Coming after you.
What's up, BlackLightAttack? My name is Internet, and welcome to my playlets of Mario World Super, originally for the SENS system. Last time we made it all the way through the beginning stage, which, what's that called? Yoshi's Island? I think it's something like that. And the Donut Plains, and we made it through Castle Number 2 into the Vanilla Dome. The only thing is that we did not quite finish up everything here, I believe. Did we do this? Yeah, we did not do the Donut Secret. And keep in mind, this is a 100%. This is going to be a 96 run, basically just meaning that in order to... that's not what I wanted. I wanted a mushroom. In order to 100% this game, you need to do a certain amount of... You need to find a certain amount of secret exits. Basically, there are some that are around like 70-something, like 72 levels in this game, but a lot of them have multiple exits, and the way to get the star next to your save file here is to, which indicates that you've 100% of the game, is to, oh, thought my Starman was gonna just hold out, but he didn't. Sorry, what? You have to find every single secret exit, so that's a lot of the time you gotta just replay certain levels, which isn't bad at all. So now I did kind of answer my own question. I said I think that the Wii autosaves, it sort of has like a built-in quick save feature. Maybe you just turn it off and turn it back on. It kind of does. It doesn't seem to work entirely reliably. Ha! Made it that time, sucker. Starman lasts really long in this game. It seems to sometimes save state when you turn the Wii on and off. It doesn't. I don't really understand what it means or what determines whether or not it's going to save state. Because sometimes I turn my Wii off and I turn it back on. Vin came over and we were playing this game a little bit, and sometimes I would turn it off and turn it back on, and my other save file would just you know, resume right where we left it off, and then other times it would start me from the beginning, and I'd have 5 lives and no power-ups. So, I mean, that's unfortunate. Get out of here. Alley-oop. So I'm not really sure what causes it, but you can pretty much guarantee that every time I start a new episode, I'm probably going to start off with 0 power-ups and 5 lives. But that's not so bad. There are definitely worse situations you can be in. Now, did we get all of the ghost house? Yeah, we got the top secret area. We got the... Ooh, you know, I think there's... Why do I feel like there's one more at that ghost house? Maybe? No, I don't think so. I think it's only that one. Okay, into Vanilla Dome. I really like the diversity of the map in this one. How there was just all these distinct... I mean, like, they had that in Mario 3, that's true, but I don't know, something about this one just seems so much better about it, because Mario 3 was, I think, the first Mario game to have a world map. I mean, it was only the 3rd Mario game. They weren't really into the whole franchise, every fucking branch off you can possibly think of thing quite yet. So, 3 was actually the 3rd game. And, like, you can definitely say for sure that Final Fantasy X isn't, for example, isn't the 10th Final Fantasy. There have been about a billion offshoots in between, you know. But I don't really know what I'm saying here. Let's see if we can get some of this action going on. Yeah, no, it's not gonna work. It's really weird. You can get this before you get the pink blocks, but it's pretty difficult. Oh, totally fucked that up. Sorry, I don't need it. But anyway, yeah. So Mario 3 was the first one to introduce the world map concept, but and I like that one. Don't get me wrong, but they were all kind of laid out the same, and there wasn't that whole secrets thing. You know, in this one, you find certain secret areas that branch off into different paths to complete the map, or maybe to like you definitely have to find some secrets. I didn't get the Yoshi coin. Oh, you definitely find all the secret switch palaces that way, etc., etc. And that's what I really liked about this, was that even though it was still a traditional Mario game in every sense, it still, one, innovated a lot, and you know, brought out all these new items and stuff like the cape, which was well, it was similar to the raccoon tail. It's actually maybe not. It did bring about Yoshi. This was the first game with Yoshi as well, but it also had this sense of exploration. You know what I mean? It just had this really great. I didn't want to replace my cape. Oh. It had this really great sense of you need to explore the levels and see what exactly is in there in order to get everything in the game, in order to get the full experience. Because I remember, I mean, you remember at the end, if you run the credits after you defeat Bowser, there's a little cutscene, actually a really long cutscene, I should say, that shows you the name of all of the enemies that you encountered in the game. And when I was a kid, when we would beat Bowser at my cousin's house, I didn't recognize like half of them. I'd be like, who the hell is that guy? Who the hell is this guy? And that just kind of gave me this sense of wonder, like, wow, this game is big. Do you remember that when you played your first like really big game that you just couldn't even possibly comprehend the scope of? That's always a great feeling. I mean, Final Fantasy VII was really the first one that I got that really was mine. That gave me that sense. But Mario was the first game I ever played. This Mario specifically, was the first game I ever played that gave me just such a sense of, wow, there's so much more to this than meets the eye. But yeah, Final Fantasy VII definitely holds a place in my heart. You guys might be able to expect a Let's Play of either Final Fantasy VII or Final Fantasy VIII from me sometime in the distant future. I'm not promising it anytime soon, but I'm sure that one day, when I have a lot of time to make videos and stuff, which is really what I would like to do, then yeah, I could definitely see myself Let's Playing a Final Fantasy game. That would be actually really awesome. You guys thought I was gonna miss this one, didn't you? No, sucker. No, man. BlackLightAttack don't miss a goddamn beat. Just kidding. I miss shit all the time. Yeah, that's. I would say 8. 8 is more likely to happen because it's just less done. It's less well known, and I think, in my opinion, the main reason that I would actually Let's Play Final Fantasy VIII over 7 isn't that I think it's a better game. It's just that I think it's a much more underappreciated game. Now, everybody loves Final Fantasy VII. Like, everybody. Okay, not everybody. There are those, you know, kind of hipster people who just say that it's that they actually don't like it, even though they like Final Fantasy just because everybody else likes it. And then there are people who actually don't like it, who don't like RPGs at all. I'm not saying that if you're an RPG fan you have to like 7. I'm just saying that, you know somebody. If you're a big gamer and if you have a lot of friends who are into gaming, you talk to them about it, about what they like and what they don't. Ah, fuck! I just messed up my one up here. Messed it up again. Collateral? Anybody see that? Collateral. So good. I might still be able to get it. Oh, that one's too slick. Got fucking smart. Everybody knows somebody who says that they don't like Final Fantasy VII, and you're like, bullshit, you fucking love that game. You just don't want to be uncool and say that you like the game that everybody else liked. Excuse me one sec. Sorry about that. I was in a bit of a little coffee fit. I got like a tickle in my throat. So now let's go back to Vanilla Dome 1, unlock this secret path, because we got to do everything while we're here. So yeah. But Final Fantasy VIII is very different from Final Fantasy VII, both in gameplay and in the fact that, and in critical reception. I mean, I think it was very critically acclaimed, but there definitely wasn't as much of a response for it in the community, not by a long shot. I definitely have a lot of people who just like openly hate Final Fantasy VII, Final Fantasy VIII, not just dislike it or like just think it's just okay, like hate that game. Personally, I absolutely love it. There are a couple things about it that are, well, it was the second Final Fantasy I ever played, but there are a couple things about it that, when I played it when I was older, they kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Rinoa is a big one, just the character Rinoa. I was talking about her with a friend the other night, because I'm replaying Final Fantasy VIII right now. I just got a PlayStation 3, and I'm playing a bunch of PSN games. But the thing is, when I was a kid, like, I absolutely loved it. It was something different. I bought it thinking... Now, I was still... Oh, you son of a bitch. Needed that cape. I bought it as a kid, not really knowing. Final Fantasy VII was my first installment in the series, so I bought it thinking that I was going to be resuming the adventures of Cloud and see what exactly happens after the, you know, you prevent Meteor and all that, blah blah blah, defeat Sephiroth. I thought that's what I was going to be seeing. And those of you who have any experience with the Final Fantasy series know that, and even plenty of you that don't, know that Final Fantasy doesn't follow any sort of linear path throughout all of its installments. It's actually just completely set in a different universe every time. Every single Final Fantasy is a different story. So when I got 8, I was kind of like, what? Where's Cloud? But, you know, eventually I played it, I got over the fact that there is no Cloud, and it ended up becoming one of my my favorite games of all time on its own merit. Totally without the help from Final Fantasy VII, so. But now that, oh, you son of a, you all die. Now that I'm an adult, like, and I've gone back and replayed it a few times, I do kind of feel like there are certain, I'm gonna have to come back for that. I should have just flown, I didn't need the spring. There are certain things about the game that definitely could have used tweaking. The character of Renoa is probably one of the worst, most insipid characters that I have ever seen. I absolutely despise Renoa. I love the love story in Final Fantasy VIII. I think that Final Fantasy VIII did need a love story. It really did, because that was the whole redemption of Squall, basically. A big complaint that a lot of people have is that the main character, Squall, was a whiny emo douchebag. But what they're not realizing, or maybe that they just don't care about, is that was the whole point of Squall. He was supposed to be a whiny emo douchebag who later reforms and becomes a caring hero. And that was really what made it so great, was that there was this whole totally dynamic. I love dynamic characters. If the character starts one way, especially in a negative way, and he ends up in a positive way, that I really appreciate. And I don't mind a negative character as long as the author or game designer or whoever does something with them by the end. And that was kind of like I liked Catcher in the Rye. I liked it a lot more in high school than I do now, but and a lot of people, god damn it, Nick, a lot of people hate Holden Caulfield because he's a douchebag. What the f... I could have sworn I was gonna hit him. God damn it. Alright, hold on, I might need to skip this level and retry. Actually, let's just do that. Select, start, L, and R all together, in case you don't know. Once you've beaten a level. You can't do it if you haven't beaten the level yet. So, like, Catcher in the Rye, you know, Holden Caulfield is actually a totally static character. He's absolutely the opposite of a dynamic character. But, they do kind of make a lot of points with his... Fuck my life. They do make a lot of good plot points with the horribleness of his character and, like, what a, you know, overcritical, whiny... I think it's the first time I've died in this Let's Play, and look at that. Like, it's just me doing the same thing over and over and over. Anyway, you guys get the gist about the whole Catcher in the Rye thing. Yeah, so Squall starts off as a total douchebag, and basically through his romance with Renoa, he kind of finds himself, and the way that they did it was kind of brilliant with the character of Squall, and in that he was still... Oh my fucking god, what is wrong with me? In that when he changed, he didn't even know that he was undergoing a change. You're privy, for those of you who haven't played it, you're very privy to Squall's inner dialogue, or I should say monologue, with himself. Just, you know, thinking about how useless other people are and how he doesn't really need anybody, and that people need to rely on themselves and not worry about others. Because in the end, all it is trouble, and by the time he's fallen in love with Renoa, it kind of when it hits him, he's kind of like, he doesn't understand what's going on. Like, all of this is very new to him. Fuck you, Nicholas. Fuck you. Are there 2 mushrooms here? Is it? Oh, it would have been 2 deaths. No, it's just the 1 mushroom, right? I'm just gonna get the mushroom and then fucking restart, because I think I'm distracting myself with this conversation that I'm actually having with myself. But hey, maybe somebody out there is talking to the screen. That'd be cool. Weird, but cool. Come on, bounce. So by the time that this whole relationship with Renoa thing hits him, he's like, what is happening to me? Why am I, why do I feel this way, about another human being who, I'm supposed to be avoiding? No, I didn't want that. I think that was a bug. That shouldn't even happen. So, he was kind of like all of a sudden like, oh my god, I have feelings. What's happened to me? I have to be the hero. Ah! That's what I really loved about the character of Squall. The thing is that Renoa needed to be like sort of a child in order to liberate Squall from his own negativity. It was kind of like that childlike innocence and naivety and energy that that really made her the effective transforming character that she was. But she was still really annoying. They could have done it much better. I think that if they had taken a character much more like Aeris from Final Fantasy VII, she would have done the job much better, because I found Aeris much more likable than Renoa. Now, obviously, I would have been disappointed if they did actually create the same character again, because I don't like repetition, and I think that back then Square Enix was much more creative than that. They had some really good character diversity back in the day. That's right, Star Road. We're going to leave that for last. And we're not going to use it to quick travel anywhere or anything. But, ooh, this series is pretty hard. I think one or two of them we can just fly over, but get out of here. Get out of here. Fuck off. So, what was I saying? So yeah, I'm glad that they didn't just redo Aeris, but just for example, Aeris was a character who was very likable, very sweet, very sort of childlike and innocent, who also sort of, to an extent, had the same effect on Cloud. It depended on how you played the game, because Cloud's romantic preference, you had the choice of either pursuing Tifa or Aeris. Or you could jokingly go on a date with Yuffie or Barrett, but throughout the game, you had all these dialogue options of going for Tifa or Aeris. When I was a kid, I always went for Tifa because I was like, "Whoa, big boobs," and I was like, "Screw Aeris, she's flat." and by the time Aeris died, I didn't really understand why Cloud was so sad. Well, yeah, she was a teammate and all, but up until then, she'd basically only been an annoyance for Cloud, and I was like, "Why do you care?" But when I played it so that I was flirting with Aeris the whole time, later when I replayed it as an adult one of the time, I finally decided to try and romantically have Cloud pursue Aeris, and I actually found the love story in it much better, like way better, just because I decided to play it that way. And I guess that's the way that the writers intended it. But somewhere along the line, probably the game director decided that they wanted this option of choosing your own, and I do like the fact that they added that, but it did kind of skew my perception of the validity of the romance in Final Fantasy VII. But I'm getting sidetracked. I was talking about the romance story in Final Fantasy VIII. That romance was really. I'm not really one who prefers a romantic story. I could take it or leave it. It depends on how well it's done, and that romance was both good and bad, because on one hand it made Squall a very likable character, it turned a very unlikable character into a very likable character, but on the other hand it was Renoa, who was, as I said, just absolutely horrible. For those of you who don't know why I hate Renoa so much, for those of you who haven't played the game, or maybe it's been a long time and you remember her pretty fondly and you don't see where I'm coming from, let me at least try to justify that a little bit. Renoa was first off, really dumb. Like, that was the main thing. She was really fucking dumb. She kind of she kind of stumbles into her destiny that she plays out in the game. And when you first meet her, basically the main characters of Final Fantasy VIII are all students at an academy that trains mercenaries. Usually they take orphans, which all the characters, most of the main characters are orphans, and they train them to become the most elite fighting force. They basically have an army of mercenaries at their disposal that they rent out to different clients to fight. And at some point, you are pretty early on in the game. You're hired to go to this town called Timber and help with its resistance movement, which happens to be led by Renoa. Well, there are actually a lot of resistance factions. She just leads one resistance group of rebels. and you know, of the many that exist there. Pretty much everybody in the town of Timber is a rebel of some kind, but she leads one faction. Turns out her rebel faction consists of like 3 people. 2 of them can't fight. It's her and 2 guys. The 2 guys can't fight. They leave Renoa to do all the fighting. One of them is like kind of retarded and constantly refers to you as sir. It's like Watts and something else, Zero or something like that. And the other one, every time it's time to like go and fight, he starts complaining of stomach cramps. Which I don't know. That must be like a Japanese joke or something. I don't know. I don't know anybody who could. I can't see like anybody thinking that that's a valid excuse. I know it's kind of not supposed to be. But, sorry. And they all refer to Renoa as Princess, which is kind of a bad sign for the rebel faction that you want to be fighting for. And on top of that, fuck. Oh, fuck. I just went on a crazy adventure in the span of like 2 feet. So they all refer to her as Princess, not at all encouraging. And then on top of that, when you get there, like Squall's kind of like, what the fuck is with these guys? Like, are you really serious? Do you really think that you know, you're gonna liberate your city, your entire region, from this oppressive rule with this kind of attitude? Because they're like super unprofessional and, as I said, dumb. So he asks to see the contract that they have with Garden, which is the academy that dispatches all of these mercenaries. And she hands over the contract, and it turns out your headmaster basically leased you out until Timber is liberated completely. So you're stuck there, or you would think that you're stuck there for the entire length of their war for independence, which could, for all you know, could last decades, especially when the people who are fighting for their own freedom are not taking it seriously. Like, it just seems like to be a big game to them. So, you know, Squall's kind of understandably pissed. And this is his first assignment as a seed. You just got your designation as a seed. Did I mention that seed is the name? Seeds are dispatched from Garden, and that's, haha, get it? So clever. And that's just such a horrible way to like try to endear you to a character. It's just like, hey, she totally fucked your entire life. Like, you just completely achieved your dreams, like 100%. All you ever wanted to do with your life is become a seed and become an elite mercenary. You finally did that, and then you were signed off to this stupid bitch who's totally content with you playing her little fucking dress-up rebellion game with her. And she's just a fucking moron. She, like, for an example, basically one of your classmates from the Garden who didn't become a seed, who is both a classmate and Squall's rival in the game, shows up at Timber, pissed off that that they only sent 3 people to try to liberate it, because he's actually friends with Renoa. So he shows up. He basically gets into a scuffle with the main bad guy of the game, who is the sorceress, Idia. Well, sort of the main bad guy. I'm not going into that. And basically, in the scuffle, he disappears, and everybody thinks he's dead, because he went up against the sorceress and the president of the tyrannical, oppressive government. And basically, Squall is kind of saying, you know, well, if he's dead, he's dead. And Renoa's response is, "You're mean," and then in all caps, "Meanie." Seriously, keep in mind that this guy, Cypher, was her friend. As they've established, the whole reason he showed up was because he was her friend. And actually, in fact, they revealed that he was interested in Renoa. He was romantically interested in her. Meanie? I'm a big meanie because I said, yeah, your boyfriend's fucking dead. That's your response? Meanie? Come on now, get fucking serious about something. Oh, and then you find out that she's not even from Timber. She's actually from the country that's oppressing them. She's actually like the daughter of one of their military generals, which in other cases could kind of come across as like this sweet kind of you know, family feud thing, like, you know, brother killing brother in a civil war sort of deal. But she's not. She, like, when you show up, her dad just like locks her in her room and is like, don't go anywhere, sweetie. You've been causing a lot of trouble. And you find out that she's basically just like having daddy issues and just like this is like her teenage rebellion, which is kind of makes sense because all the characters in Final Fantasy are teenagers for some reason. At least in Final Fantasy VIII and well, it's mostly true for Final Fantasy VII. Thought you can duck them, and Final Fantasy VII as well. But I don't get that. Why does it have to be teenagers that save the world? Why can't it be adults? It's usually like if the world ever needs saving, I doubt children are going to do it. Not that I have any problems with teenagers, but like why are they the most powerful fighting force in the world? You know, it's kind of I don't get that. It's weird. But yeah, that's basically my summary of like I have other gripes too, but not that many. The big one is that Renoa is an insipid idiot, and is just painful to listen to her, or read her dialogue. But she does serve as the other half of an otherwise really good relationship thing. And yeah, I don't know. I feel like the romance sub-stories or subplots were kind of handled poorly in subsequent Final Fantasy X. Certain Final Fantasy X, which shall not be named. In Final Fantasy IX, it was a little awkward. It was just kind of like the Aladdin story of like Pauper meets Princess. You know, Thief with a Heart of Gold meets the Princess, gets the girl. Princess wants desperately to get out of the castle. It was basically a Disney story. And is there a secret exit here? No, I don't believe there is. And Final Fantasy X was a steaming pile of garbage, in my opinion. I know a lot of people are gonna give me some flack for saying that, but I fucking hated 10 with a passion. Everything about it. You know how every Final Fantasy has that sort of like dark and broody character. Everybody has to have at least one or two every Final Fantasy. Or maybe not broody so much as just quiet. You know, possibly broody, but mostly like quiet and introspective, and maybe a little bit reserved. They all have that one character, one or two characters. Like in Final Fantasy VII, they had two. They had Vincent, and then they had Red 13. Excuse me. They had Vincent, and they had Red 13, and then in Final Fantasy VIII, obviously they had Squall, and to a certain extent, Quistis or Quistis or however it is you're supposed to pronounce her name. Now, Final Fantasy X had no less than fucking 4 of them. 4 characters that were like silent, broody, moody, introspective motherfuckers. Like you can't have that many. That's too much. They had, and count them with me, Kimahri, who was kind of a cool character. All right, you know what? Fuck it. I'm not going up there. Kind of a cool character. I did not dislike Kimahri. Auron, who a lot of people fanboyed over, but I didn't find Auron to be anything special. In my opinion, Auron was just the wandering, mysterious samurai stereotype. And they had Lulu, who was basically a goth chick. She like literally looked like one of the goth kids from South Park. And then there was Yuna, who was mostly just reserved because she's, you know, a Japanese woman stereotype. And Yuna was like the most horrible character in any Final Fantasy, in my opinion. Yuna is so far my least favorite. Okay, Renoa was fucking dumb, and she pisses me off to no end. I'll give her that. But at least she had a personality. That's all I'm gonna say. Final Fantasy X fanboys, that's my challenge to you. Try to find any scenario in Final Fantasy X where Yuna was actually a believable, likable character. She was just absolutely dead inside. You know that the kid Johnny from Ed, Edd n Eddy, who had a friend. Was it Johnny or Jimmy? I think Johnny. He had a friend that was just a plank of wood with a smiley face drawn on it. They could have swapped her out for that plank and I wouldn't have noticed. She was the most boring fucking character in the entire universe. I hate her. There was no writing to her whatsoever. Like even when you know, she, like towards the end when she's like realizing her destiny, like God, she was horrible. She was absolutely horrible. And Then they made 10-2, where all of a sudden she was a bad girl, and I don't know if that was supposed to rectify the soulless situation that she had going on, but in my opinion, it just made it feel really out of place. But I don't know a single person in the world who didn't think that Final Fantasy X-2 was completely out of place and completely unnecessary and completely unasked for. And maybe not unasked for. I'm sure that every generation of Final Fantasy has had people demanding a sequel or prequels or something, but you know what I'm saying. I absolutely hated Yuna. I hated Tidus too. God, what a shitty character. That was basically kind of like Final Fantasy VIII all over again in terms of the plot was very central to the love story. A less extent on Final Fantasy VIII, but still true. And on you know, basically there was the chick that I hated. The difference was that in 10 I also hated the guy, because Tidus was a little bitch. I'm sorry, but Tidus was a little girly man, and I didn't find him to be a likable character. I think he went into it with way too many daddy issues, which is weird for a guy to have, in my opinion, in a story. I'm not saying that no real guy in real life has problems with his dad, but I think it's weird to base a story around that. And I can't get that now. Yeah, what a shitty character, just in general. And he's not as bad as Yuna. That's absolutely admitted. In my perspective, he is not nearly as bad as his love interest. But I do think that you have to be a massive tool to go for a chick like that, and I think that Tidus was already a massive tool. So that's what I got to say about Final Fantasy X. I played Final Fantasy X. I think I didn't even have a PS2 yet, but I borrowed both my friend's PS2 and his copy of Final Fantasy X. And I got really excited because it was like the first Final Fantasy on a new console generation for me, because I started on Final Fantasy VII, so that was my, you know, for all I knew, all of Final Fantasy existed on PlayStation. So now that the PlayStation 2 is out and everybody was saying it was so good, and I played it, I was just so disappointed. And a large part of it was because they completely did away. That was the first entry in the main series where they finally completely did away with any sense of exploration or the world map, which, to my knowledge, has been present in every numbered Final Fantasy since Final Fantasy 1. I don't know that for sure because I didn't play all of them in between. I did play 1, I did play 2 when they were re-released on Game Boy Advance, and they both had a world map, and I know, or I think 3 and 4 did. I think I played 4 for, like, briefly, because I think they re-released that on PlayStation 1. And 5, no, that was 5. 4 and 5 I think they released. And then I did play 6, which I regrettably, I should say, never finished. That's a lot of people's favorite Final Fantasy. God damn it. I'm playing like shit tonight. God fucking hell. A lot of people absolutely adore Final Fantasy VI, and I don't blame them. I still like the 7 and 8 rotation a little bit better because I like the customization of basically creating a character any goddamn way you want. Because in Final Fantasy VI, it was, you know, still in the traditional Final Fantasy. Didn't mean to do that. I think you can go down here. No, maybe not. I think maybe it's this one. What? What? That is bullshit. That is absolute bullshit. Sorry, they were still on the old style Final Fantasy where certain characters could only fill certain roles, which is kind of meh. I'm not crazy about that. I know that's how Final Fantasy is supposed to be. It doesn't make me like it anymore. Because you know, it's probably just because I'm not a Final Fantasy purist. I'm not a series mainstay. I'm used to the games where you can create a character any way you want, and certain characters are more predisposed to being better at certain roles, but overall you're not really confined to building your characters in any one particular way. And my main problem with that way of playing the game is that it feels like you're limiting yourself if you don't have certain characters. Like, it always feels like you're sacrificing something in order to bring certain characters onto your roster. I never like that. because that's what Final Fantasy IX did, and Final Fantasy IX was the first first game in the series that I didn't like. I should say I did like it, but I didn't like it nearly as much as I loved, absolutely adored Final Fantasy 8 and 9. Or I'm sorry, 7 and 8. 9 was just good to me. It wasn't as fantastic as all the other ones. Haha. Sneaky, sneaky. Oh shit. You son of a bitch. I wanted that. So yeah, I just spent like my entire freaking playing Mario time on talking about Final Fantasy. It counts. It's another Japanese series. It's kind of ignorant, but shut up. God damn it. Ugh. Fuck. Yep, I totally fucked this up. Unless I... I hate Magic Koopa, by the way. I fucking hate him. This is going like... I wanted to keep these to like half an hour each, but it's already almost 40 minutes, and I'm still trying to beat the castle. But at least we actually got all the secrets this time. So sometimes they create flimps. That's right. So you know, sometimes I'm gonna go over time just because certain areas are larger than the others, and you can only save at certain points. Now you can use ghost houses as save points, basically. Usually what I do when I need to save is I'll go and run one of the easier ghost houses, and just use that as a save point, because whenever you complete a ghost house, you get a save. And you can't really save at will in this game for some reason, which is kind of annoying, but still kind of early in the whole save thing. Oh, how you like that timing, son? How you like that? Fucking best plumber NA. God damn. Just ranting about Final Fantasy all day, every day. Now you know what the best thing about Final Fantasy VIII was not Squall, not the fact that Squall was a totally dynamic character. My favorite thing about Final Fantasy VIII was that the card game was so fucking fun, so simple, so addictive, and really easy to understand. And the best part was, unlike Final Fantasy IX, which also was not fun or easy to understand, there was actually a tangible reward for it. I think in Final Fantasy IX, like if you collected all the cards, you got like a fucking medal or something, like just, hey, good job, pat on the back, thumbs up. That fucking bullshit. Final Fantasy VIII, you can teach Quetzalcoatl the card mod ability, which allows you to refine cards into. I definitely hit jump. I don't know what happened there. It allows you to refine cards into useful items for battle, and all of the one-of-a-kind, like really super rare cards that you get in the game, refine into some of the best items in the game. And that's actually a big way to get through the final boss, Ultimisia. That's a big way to get through her castle, because they have this weird thing where a lot of your abilities are locked, and that's like your basic abilities. I'm talking like the ability to use items, magic, or summons in battle. All of that is disabled, and you have to defeat the bosses. And every time you have to defeat like 8 or 9 bosses, and every time you defeat a boss, you unlock a new ability that's been locked. So the first thing you unlock is item, and you use all of these super powerful items. You unlock item, and then you use your card mod to get all these awesome items, and you just use them to fucking breeze through the place. That's like a really popular common strategy for for Ultimisia's castle. Fun times. Yeah, so there was like some really tangible benefits to actually playing the card game. I always make a point to like have an unbeatable, amazing baller deck by like, I don't know, end of the first mission. And I usually do, because you can get I took that fireball totally full on knowing that was gonna happen. You can card mod bombs. You can learn card in from Quetzalcoatl as well, and turn bombs in the fire cavern into cards, and then beat Squall's mom, or Zell's mom, I mean, to get the Zell card, and use the effort card you get at the end of that, and you're pretty much set to go. But back to the game at hand for once. Let's commit some more terrorism. Beat the fucking castle down with a hammer. Mario is fucking crazy. Mario has triumphed over Lemmy Koopa of Castle Number 3. Mario's quest is starting to get much more difficult. Have you found the red and green switches? Yeah, fuck yeah I did. Fuck yeah I did. I'm so good at this game you don't even understand. Gling 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 gling. Oh yes, continue and save. Alright, so yeah, you know, I would go all the way to Castle Number 4, but I'm gonna hold off for now. We gotta remember that there is actually a secret below here, and this is one of the best best kept secrets for me. I didn't know about this one for the longest time. But anyway, guys, like the video if you liked it, and let me know if me talking about another series while I'm playing this one was a little too much. If that was if you felt that was too off topic, please feel free to let me know in the comment section. And give me a like if you liked it, give me a dislike if you didn't, and if you really enjoyed it, give me a favorite. Once again, my name is BlackLightAttack. Take it easy.